So, continuing with the phrasal verbs with up, we're going to look at a new set of phrasal verbs now. So these are again using the same preposition, up, but the meaning now is approaching. Okay, so coming in my direction. Okay, so third meaning for the phrasal verbs with up is this idea of approaching. Okay, so the first example would be to catch up. Okay, so this would be, imagine a situation where I'm walking and my friend is walking, but he's behind me, he's walking very slowly. I could turn to my friend and say, come on, catch up. Okay, so to catch up means to get to the same position as I am. Okay, so try and catch up with me. So this can be in a physical situation like this, where your friend is there and you're saying, come on, catch up. It can also be in a more figurative way. So it could be, imagine you're in a course, you're learning something, and maybe you're finding it more difficult, and other people are progressing faster than you. So you could say, I need to catch up. Okay, so I need to try to learn more so I can get to the same position as the other people. Then another phrasal verb also using up and related to catch up is to keep up. So to keep up means it's the same idea, so the idea of being in the same position as somebody else. So imagine two people walking, one person gets to beside them, so first they catch up, then if they can maintain that position, so if they can stay walking at the same speed, they keep up with the other person. Okay, so to keep up is to maintain the same position as somebody else. It can also be used in a figurative way. So in a class, if you're working very hard and you're progressing at a similar pace to the other students, you're keeping up with the other students. So it means that you're moving at the same speed. Okay, so first, as we said, you want to catch up, and then to continue at that speed, you keep up. A third phrasal verb that's part of the up family and part of this group of approaching, this idea of approaching, is to turn up. Okay, so to turn up has a couple of different meanings, but one we're looking at today is the idea of arriving. So you could say that, for example, Michael turned up at my house at 8 o'clock yesterday. Okay, so the idea here is that Michael arrived at my house at this time. So to turn up means arrive somewhere. But turn up has a slightly different meaning from arrive. Phrasal verbs tend to have slight different meanings from the normal verb. To turn up gives an idea that the person arrived not at the time or not at the place that was expected. Okay, so if I said Michael turned up at my house at 8 o'clock, the idea here is that it surprised me. I didn't think he was going to arrive at my house at 8 o'clock. Maybe I thought he was going to come at 7 o'clock, or maybe I didn't think he was going to come to my house that day. So to turn up means to arrive at a time or a place that was not expected. Another phrasal verb with up that has this idea of approaching is to say something is coming up. Okay, so for example, this means that something is approaching in terms of the time. Okay, so imagine I have been waiting a long time to do my driving test, okay? And then I want to say that my driving test is next week. So I could say my driving test is coming up next week. So the meaning here is that my driving test is happening next week. And I want to give an idea that this date is approaching, so it's coming near me. Okay, so again, the meaning of up in this phrasal verb is this idea of approaching. So it's coming up, it means that it's happening soon. Another example of using the phrasal verb up to mean approaching is to own up. Okay, so this phrasal verb, the idea of approaching here is the opposite would be to run away. Okay, so to own up means to come forward and accept the responsibility for something. So if you did something bad, for example, you broke somebody's laptop, you could go forward, tell the person, I'm really sorry, I broke your laptop. I want to own up to this. Okay, so here to own up means to say that you did something wrong, to accept responsibility. So again, it's this idea of approaching. So not running away, but going forward and telling the person that you did something wrong. So this is to own up. And the last one in this group of phrasal verbs with up, with the meaning of approaching, is to speak up. Okay, so this is a similar idea to owning up to something. To speak up is when you don't run away, you give your opinion about something. Okay, so if you see that something is wrong, something you don't agree with, for example, you can either stay quiet, run away, don't say anything, or you can speak up. So here again, speak up means to come forward, to give your opinion on something, to if you see something is wrong and you want to protest or something like that, this would be when you speak up. So I could say, I didn't agree with what they were doing, so I decided to speak up. So I decided to tell people that I wasn't happy with this.